welcome to the Passenger Seat Podcast, a podcast designed to fill your passenger seat with chat about classic cars, all recorded from my 1968 Morris Minor Peggy. I'm Becca and I'm at the NEC Classic Motor Show again, and today we'll be talking to some of the brilliant young members who have brought their cars onto the stand this year to represent the Morris Minor Young Members. So, as you can see, breakdowns happening all around. It's been a busy day and I've been here chatting to them all. So let's get on with the podcast. Okay, so I'm sat in Patch, I think, for the first time with Yayan. I don't think I've been in Patch at all.
I must have given you a lift somewhere.
No, I'm always one of the drivers, I think.
Well,
it's very comfy in
here he
here.
is.
Yeah.
He's got his blanket.
And Patch has joined us on the Young Members stand. But I suppose the first thing to talk about is the fact that it wasn't supposed to be Patch on the Young Members stand.
No, this should be Evie.
Yes.
And
We wouldn't be able to sit in Evie comfortably.
Oh, you wouldn't, yeah.
We could sit on the floorboards in Evie.
And you'd get out with tetanus as well at some point.
So tell us a bit about Evie.
So Evie is a 1965 two-door.
Yep.
Trafalgar blue, the correct colour. And I bought her from a paint shop. The customer had brought it in and they deemed it too bad to repair. Everything below sort of waist height down is completely and utterly rotten. And I so far have welded everything up on the driver's side, nothing on the passenger side. So she's half solid now. And
when you offered it to the stand,
yep,
intention was it was going to be up and driving. When did you got it? Like
June-ish
this
this
year. And you were like, I'm going to have it up and running. And both me and Tash, your girlfriend, were like, what's the option if it's not?
Yes.
And you were like, it's fine, it'll be up and running.
Yeah.
And then we got to a point where we were like...
About 2 weeks ago, when I thought...
No, not quite happening.
Yeah.
And there was a frantic panic for...
a trailer, which I brought in the dark from Preston, which is about 90 miles away from me. Went and picked that up. Thought it was all fine. Loaded Evie up on Thursday morning. Thought, I'll just drive around the block to, check the trailer's all right and everything. And none of the brakes worked on the trailers, and it's the closest I've ever come to rear-ended anyone. So Evie is not here, Patch is here. Yes.
And we're very grateful to Patch because Patch, the theme is perfect partners, and I think Patch has been your perfect partner for a very long time.
Yes, about 8 and a bit, 9 years almost. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very good car.
And a forever car.
Definitely, 100%. Yes, I will always, always, always have Patch. I've had 50 odd, 60 cars. I've got a spreadsheet with every car I've ever owned. And yeah, Patch isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So yes, I've already done lots of work to Patch in the past as well. Every upgrade you can imagine, every downgrade you can imagine, everything. Yeah. It's a very good car.
And Patch is here in part thanks to Evie.
Yes, so Patch is working as a test bed for Evie's engine and, at the minute, diff. Because the plan is with Evie, finish her, not to concourse, not fresh fancy restoration or anything, just the most solid car you can imagine, then use her all day, every day.
Yeah.
And then keep Patch for nice shows and
everything else.
Everything else, yes.
And so Patch's engine, when we spoke last on the podcast, was not in a good way.
Mechanically it was fantastic in terms of it was a very speedy, nice engine, but if you filled it up with oil, 10 minutes later all that oil would be on the floor. He leaked it out of every orifice and burnt it everywhere as well.
So how is Evie's engine?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Absolutely perfect. Doesn't use any water, drips the tiniest amount of oil, but there's literally 1 or 2 spots under the drip tray at the minute.
The expected amount of oil for a Morris Minor?
Yes. Yeah.
The minimum requirement for a Morris Minor.
Yes, and no smoke coming out the back, and just, very nice engine.
And the diff was a very last minute addition.
Yes, that was a Thursday morning edition, because I did have a 3.9, which is a popular upgrade for a Morris Minor, but I was finding, because I do a lot of towing, going up hills, and I live in Wales, and it's very hilly there.
Yeah.
It was just a bit slow and laborious, so I took the 4.2 diff out of Evie, and that's solved lots of problems. But yeah, I was doing that Thursday morning, as you do.
As you do.
Yeah.
And
what time were we meant to be here? 10 a.m, 11 a.m.
Yeah, and
I got here at 6:30.
Yeah. But it's on the stand, and we're recording this on Sunday. been on the stand all weekend.
Yes.
What do you like about the NEC as a show?
It's big. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're ever coming here to visit, you need at least a full day to go around, and even then you won't see anything. This is the third day I've been here, well, fourth technically, and I still haven't seen everything.
Yeah.
There's lots of people, not just Morris Minery people, but I've bumped into some people I used to work with the Wall of Death, and other people from other car clubs that I know, and it's just a very social, nice thing. Not only during the show, but in the evenings when we go to the pub and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's very good.
But you do have a complaint, don't you? Because your favourite stand isn't here this year.
Oh, there's no Meadows Frisky stand. There's one singular Meadows Frisky. If anyone is ever selling a Meadows Frisky, tell Becca and I will buy it. And I may have to sell a liver or something. But
that's fine. Yeah. No, it's a necessity.
Yes.
And then you won't have to keep coming just to check that they're still out there. And
yes. Yeah, I'll know because I'll have
one. Yeah.
I won't have a home or anything. I'll just have a Meadows Frisky, but I'll be fine.
And why do you think it's important for the young members to have a stand at the NEC?
In my opinion, to sort of reassure everyone that, generally speaking, most classic cars are owned by older people who, they're in the twilight of their years, might be worried about who's going to look after their car, in a way to reassure the wider community that there's still people, particularly young people, who are interested in classic cars of all flavours, makes and models, and
Excellent.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
thank you very much. We'll let you go back out, and then you've got a bit of time this afternoon to finish off going around the stalls.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're sat in Josh's very comfy seats in Burt, and Burt's here on the Young Members stand as well. Tell us a little bit about how you got Burt and why you went for a Moggy.
So originally, Burt was my stepdad's.
Yep.
He bought it from a garage. A guy had left it there. It sat and he wasn't paying his bill, so they sold it, 600 quid, and then sold the mini lights off it, got some money back.
Yep.
So I ended up buying it for 400. Stepdad started working on it, and he offered me to come and help him every couple of days or so. And then I started helping him, slowly got into it, and I turned around to him and said, "Can I buy it off you?"
Yeah.
And he said yeah, and I paid what he put into it. And then I've kind of taken it from there. I ended up respraying in black.
Yeah.
And then I went for the patina after.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of added stuff as we've gone along. So I've now got twin HS2s with a 5-speed gearbox, with servo and brake discs on the front.
Yeah.
Which has been amazing. It's probably the best things you can do.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And what was it about a Moggy that appealed to you, or was it just because it was there and you'd already kind of started to get to know it?
It was a case of, it was simple, but it was old and it was different.
Yeah.
So it kind of got my attention, and the fact that I had no experience with mechanics and then I could just come and do this was amazing. So that's, I think, what made me fall in love with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And best purchase I've ever made, honestly.
And what made you go for like the rat look?
To be honest, I think it was that I couldn't get my paint quite nice because of what people had done to like the surface beforehand.
Yeah.
So I then got a bit fed up with it. I then said, well, why don't I go for a rat look? Because it hasn't got to be perfect, but it's still looking nice on it.
Yeah.
And I slowly went through with that, and I've done it on the outside, but I've kept the inside the nice Trafalgar blue.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Apart from, like, a little bit on the door.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So what's kind of your future plans with Burt?
I think the next major thing might be a Mercedes CLK supercharger.
Okay.
Going on to him with the Stage 1 head.
Right.
Which should be fun, but the first major thing that I need to do before that is my wiring.
Yeah.
the wiring loom needs to go in first, but that's after the van's on the road, so I can switch between them. So I'm not stuck with that car.
Yeah, absolutely, because you daily.
Yeah, I daily this. This is my only car. I learned to drive in this as well, which amazing, honestly.
How did you find learning to drive in a Moggy?
To be fair, quite fun. Apart from people go, oh, it's an old car, they're going to be slow, and they pull out in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, you learn a lot about like hazard perception.
Yeah, you do.
And how
quite
to work
quickly
them.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. How have you enjoyed being on the Young Members stand this year?
I have really enjoyed it. I would definitely do this again.
Yeah.
If I could.
Why did you want to have Bert on the Young Members stand?
I just thought he'd be different and to show that stuff does change, but it's all sort of the same.
Yeah.
So everyone else has nice clean cars and I've got this batty car.
Yeah.
But they're all the same inside. It's just a thing of cosmetics.
Yeah.
Which
It shows. I think our stand as a whole does show quite a bit of variety in terms of like mildly modified, period modified, standard, and then yours as being kind of the other extreme. We've got.
I've got the heavily modified one, haven't I?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think it's important for car clubs to have like young members?
Because it's just proving that it doesn't have to just be an older generation. It's everyone can be included. Doesn't matter what background you come from. Everyone's included in it.
Yeah.
Which is really important.
Oh, great. Have you got a special memory that you've made with Bert?
Ooh, I don't know. There's a couple. I've done some trips to go and see friends that I haven't seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
I took him down to Worcester last to go see one of my friends, Chris, who's basically my parts guy. But even then, he was amazed at what I'd done with Bert.
Yeah.
And he loved it. But yeah, so I've made a few, but I want to make a few more.
Yeah. And the thing is, because it's your first car as well, you'll find that like not only are you getting the experience of first car freedom, but also the uniqueness of the car is adding to it as well.
Anywhere I go, I have somebody coming up to me and saying, well, what have you done this for, or what have you got under your bonnet? And I'll stand around and chat with them for half an hour when I need to go shopping or something. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that'll be forever now.
Yeah.
Do you think Bert's like a forever car for you?
Bert is a forever car.
Yeah.
He really is. And I think my van, well, that'll be another forever car.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, hopefully we'll get to see the van and stuff in the not too distant future.
Hopefully, yes. There's going to be a lot of work to get that on the road, but I'm going to try and get it done as quick as I can.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for having a chat with me.
Thank you for enjoying my comfy seats.
Yes, and enjoy the rest of the show. So I'm now squeezed in the back of Mabel. I've got my knees in the back of Harry and Tom's seats, and this is your joint car.
Yes.
And you were talking about Mabel. Was it at National this year? You chatted to us a little bit about Mabel.
Yes.
Or was it 2 years ago now?
No, I think it was at Thorsby last year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a while ago.
How's Mabel been doing?
Good. Apart from breaking her headlight switch, yeah, she's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you fixed that. Someone came along with a part this weekend and has provided.
Yep, provided, fitted, fixed, so I can actually drive home tonight.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about why you got Mabel and what you've done to kind of make her your own.
So me and Tom, well, there's always been a Morris Minor near us where my parents lived, and there was two of them, one in the garden, where my parents' next door neighbours, and then one in their garage. And when the lady passed away, I said, "Oh, what are you doing with the car in the garage?"
Yeah.
And the chap said to me, "If you drag it out, have a look at it, evaluate it, and then make me an offer."
Yeah.
So I dragged it out, made him an offer, got it transported back to my house, took one look underneath it, and went, "Absolutely not. It's too far gone."
Yeah.
It was just so rusty. I think in that case, it was a case of, well, I didn't quite look at it properly.
Yeah. You didn't have the experience and
no, I didn't have experience
know-how.
and know-how. And I kind of looked at it and went, yeah, I'll have it back on the road in a month. No.
Do you think you'd have been helped in that first instance if, like, someone who had a bit more knowledge and experience from the club had been free to come with you and have a look?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it had its heritage. So it was an ex-Met Police Panda car.
Yeah.
So I knew it was, for the price I paid for it, it was cheap anyway.
Yeah.
Even considering how rusty it was. And to be fair, when I did sell it, it sold on eBay within like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'd barely put it up, told my parents that it was up for sale before someone hit buy it now and said I'll collect it in 2 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think knowing what I know now, the ownership of Mabel has been a massive learning curve. I think that I probably wouldn't have done it
Yeah.
But when I sold the old Moggy, I had a Morris Minor shaped hole in my heart, and I had to then think, okay, well, I want one, but I want one I can actually drive rather than it fall apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when we got Mabel.
And how have you enjoyed Mabel, Tom? You do a little bit of the driving sometimes as well, don't you?
Yeah, I've never driven any classic before, so driving this first time was interesting to say the least.
Yeah,
being used to
modern cars
and servo-assisted brakes and all that sort of thing.
It was funny. I remember him pressing the brake pedal. He was like, "It's not stopping.
There's nothing.
It's not stopping."
And your brakes are quite good. We found out that some young members' brakes are not good this weekend.
Nope.
Having them pressed your brake pedal, I assume, is what's gone. Oh, actually.
That's what a brake pedal should feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a whole weekend's been fantastic. But yeah, I think my brake pedal has been a talking point for quite a lot of us young members. Yeah.
And so Mabel's got a few little mod cons. So even though it was your first classic to drive, there are a few little things that you've done to try and make her a little bit more comfortable for you. Tell us a bit about that.
So we have, Tom would quite happily have it as it came out of the factory, but I can't leave anything alone for more than 5 seconds. So she's had a modern Bluetooth radio put in, so if you have a phone call you can actually answer it, assuming you can hear them over the sound of the engine.
But you've got sound deadening as well, so that helps.
So I took all the interior out, sound deadened the whole car, did the doors, did the rear quarters. I wish I could have done my roof, but I'm not messing around with the headlining.
No.
And then phone chargers, USB sockets, it's got a tow bar, gauges, stuff like that, modern lights. Just anything to make it possible to literally put fuel in it and drive. So if I decided tomorrow to drive up to Edinburgh, I know that it's not going to break down halfway up because something isn't right.
Yeah, absolutely. Super usable classic.
Yeah. Almost daily drivable, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't.
No.
She's too lovely. And
she's too lovely.
and you like your other cars as well, don't you? So,
I do, yes.
Yeah.
You say it never breaks down, although you've got spares for everything in the back.
Yeah, so I've got spares in the back. I've got another spare headlight switch just in case lightning does strike twice on the M1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got spares in the back. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, you can have a list as long as your arm," but the thing that goes wrong will never be what you have spare.
Yeah.
I've got a spare coil. I've got all different spares in my boot.
Sometimes it's nice to have them, not even just for you. Like the amount of times I've had
others.
stuff.
Oh, so handy.
And yeah.
Have you got one of these? And you say,
has anyone got one of these? Can we then borrow it? For example, Lewis with the headlight switch.
They'll do it back.
So I've got a spare in my glove box, which Lewis gave to me. So it's been perfect.
Yeah.
We can then just swap it out very easily. And, yeah.
What are some of your best memories that you guys have made with Mabel?
Not breaking down. I must admit, trying to get to the Bedford meet last year,
that was interesting.
I was genuinely more gutted that we couldn't get there because we've got WhatsApp group, we've been chatting and stuff.
Yeah.
And when it conked out, I was really gutted, having to call up the breakdown and be like, "Yeah, take me home." We weren't in that far. We were 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, probably could have got recovered to the actual event, and someone might have had a spare coil.
Yeah.
But at the time, without testing, you don't know. But I think the memory I hold most dearly is probably when we were in Dorset, and we met the car, which is one VIN number different. So it's
amazing.
Pretty much the same car, but just not modified like this is. And then having pasties on top of a hill, set on the boot, it was great. Yeah, I definitely cherished that.
That picture's on one of our stands displays, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
No, absolutely loved it.
What about you, Tom?
Favourite memory? Probably taking it down to Wales. Yeah, that was an adventure.
Really?
Yeah.
Or even considering it was chucking down with rain and I had a waterfall coming off a dash.
It was interesting. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Sometimes little quirks and stuff like that is what sticks in your memory and stuff.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I know that it leaks there and it leaks there, but I don't care. It's a character.
We've got a great picture with us two in here and then 2 sausage dogs in the back seat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I always find when you buy a car, you often then see a load of the same car out and about. You actively see them.
Yeah.
And we saw a Morris Minor, went out the next day after we bought this. I saw about 2 Morris Minors and parked up next to one, had a little chat with another member, and it's just great fun. I think they're great cars for talking points.
Yeah.
Everyone loves them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, love the ownership of it. It's great.
So you've been on the stand all weekend.
Yep.
How have you found being on the stand talking to people at the NEC?
Really good. It's me and Tom's first time ever being at the NEC, whether it be as like people with our cars here or as visitors. So for us, it's been really quite interesting. Obviously, the get-in on Thursday was really good. We managed to get the cars on the stand. Everything was all set up really lovely. And obviously, we're fortunate it's the last day, so we'll then do the get-out today. But it's been really good. And I mean, I could talk the hind legs off a donkey about cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
And it's a willing audience constantly passing through,
It's
constant
amazing.
fresh people.
Yeah, and you've got people going, oh, so you're the young members? And we're like, yeah. We're like, with the future of the club, like, we will eventually be the old members, but we've got to get there first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's been great. People love talking about it. Everyone seems to have a memory they can relate back to a Morris Minor, whether it be, like my mum had one, or it's like the Mini. Like, everyone knows someone who's had a memory in a Mini.
Yeah.
Everyone knows someone who's had a Morris Minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important for young members to have a presence at a show like this?
I feel it's important because, like some car clubs, if you don't get young members in, that car club can very quickly become less and less members, and eventually it just shuts down.
Yeah.
Because there's no one there to continue that legacy on. But I just think it's important for young people to get involved in classic cars.
Yeah.
Because eventually they won't be here anymore if people don't take notice of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Tom?
Morris Minor's a perfect,
Perfect first car.
car,
Classic, definitely.
because it's cheap and easy to work on and
Get parts and stuff.
Yeah.
I can see why people like yourself, Daddy, drive a Morris Minor.
Yeah.
Because you can get parts, easy to work on, reliable. Yeah, no, I think it's important to have young members, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you ever so much.
Thank you for having us.
We're nearly at wrap up time, so
We are, yeah.
we best get this wrapped up and get one more interview in the bag. But
Cool.
yeah, thank you ever so much,
Thank you very much.
and safe journey home. So we're back in Margot. Actually, I've not been in Margot, but you've been in Peggy because I interviewed you at National.
Yes.
Yeah. What's happened to Margot since we spoke last?
Nothing too major. I've fitted all the chrome bits I bought at the Nationals.
Yep.
And that's about it, I think, really. She's looking a bit more presentable now.
There's the alternator.
Yes, and that. And the HS4, actually.
Yeah.
So I have done quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really like a rolling project
Yes,
for you.
definitely.
In
Yeah,
terms
just
of,
when things go wrong, pretty much.
Yeah, and then keeping up on top
Yeah.
of little bits. She's got a new bonnet strip and stuff
Yes,
like that
and
as well.
Yep.
I know more about what you've
Yeah,
done
you
to your
do, to
car
be
than you do. Yeah. Remind us, you got Margot.
Start of 2022.
Yep.
She was in a bit of a state.
Yes,
Done lots
the
of welding, lots
photos
of
on
paint.
the
Yes.
window, and I don't think I'd seen that.
Okay.
So to see how far she's come,
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you learnt lots?
Yes, I mean, before this I'd done no welding, so I've learned all about that, and yeah, I know a lot more about how Morris Minors work now, definitely.
And what's been kind of one of your favourite things that you've done with the restoration that like you felt like that was really satisfying to learn, or?
I mean, it probably is the welding again, to be fair, because I've painted this, I've done that to vehicles before, but
Yeah.
I've never done any big welding projects, so, and it's satisfying. You start off and it looks a bit shit, and then it just gets better and better.
What welding did you need? Because obviously that's quite a different state. Was it floor?
So it's floor, sills, chassis legs, boot, and inner rear wings. And
As much
yes.
as what Peggy's going to have to do,
Yes,
have done next
definitely,
year.
yeah.
Absolutely. And you're here on the Young Member stand, been here all weekend.
Yep.
How have you found the NEC? Had you been before?
No, I haven't been before. It's a lot bigger than I expected, and it's amazing what's on display, the variety of vehicles.
Have you managed to see most of it?
Most of it, I think, now. Although
Yeah.
I still found some bits this afternoon I haven't seen before. So.
Yeah, because you were out for a bit of a wander
Yes,
today, weren't you?
yeah.
What have you? Anything particular that stood out to you?
Nothing in particular, really. There's lots of Series 1s here. Bit of a
Yeah.
Land Rover fan. Enjoyed
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
those. But yeah, just everything, to be fair. Really enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Oh, good. And how did you find being like when you were working on the Young Members stand? Like, conversations and stuff you had with people?
Yeah, no, it's nice talking to people. There's lots of people who have owned Morris Minors in the past, a long time ago, or have still got them. They've had them for lots of years. It's nice speaking to them about my experiences and
Yeah.
yeah.
Learning about kind of the history of them,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
also people's stories. What's one of your favourite stories that you've had, that you've made with Margot?
I still haven't been on any big trips, to be fair. Next summer I'm doing the NEC 500 in her, hopefully.
All by yourself, or
No, I'm part of the Loughborough Students Motor Club, so we're planning a trip up there at the moment. That should be good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing coming up.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
What things are you going to do to try and make sure that trip goes as smoothly as possible?
I think she's pretty much ready, to be fair. I'd be fairly comfortable driving her on that now.
Yeah.
Nothing too bad would go wrong, I don't think.
Oh.
Got plenty of spares in the boots, so
Good.
see what happens.
Yeah. Why do you think it's important to have like a young membership representation at an event like this?
I mean, we've seen quite a few people who it's kind of like granddads and people who think, oh, my son, daughter might like a Morris Minor. They've come along, had a chat with us, seeing that it is possible, you can use them every day. So
yeah, we've got quite a variety of some people who use them every day,
Yep.
some people who use them like alongside another vehicle as like a second everyday vehicle, and then a nice mix on the stand, I think. How would you describe your usage of Margot?
I've got another vehicle, but where I live at the moment I've only got space for one, so I kind of every few months I'll swap between the two.
Yeah.
So it's kind of my daily for a few months, then I'll swap to my Defender.
Yeah.
But when I've got her, she's in use every day.
Yeah. And are you enjoying when
Yes.
you use her?
Yeah, definitely, it's good fun.
How does it compare to the Defender?
They're hard to compare, really. They're kind of different vehicles, but I mean, this has definitely got way more character to drive. It's good fun.
Yeah.
But you can pick up less stuff in the back.
Yeah. And also, I think stands out because you posted a picture not that long ago of that Loughborough University Motor Group. Stands out in the lineup of
Yes,
their cars
definitely.
and stuff
Lots
like
of
that.
BMWs and MX5s, and nothing quite like this.
Are there any of them taking an interest in what you've been doing with the car?
There's another guy there with a Mini. He's
Yeah.
restoring a midget as well at the moment, actually, so he's quite interested. But yeah, lots of people are impressed with what I've done anyway.
Yeah, no, you should be really proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you ever so much for having a little chat. Safe journey home tonight, and enjoy the last little bit of the show. We've not
definitely.
got long left now. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, been great to talk to people, and I've been talking to people all weekend. Everything's been packed away now, and it's time to head home for me. So thank you ever so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed all of my NEC content, and in the meantime, drive safely and happy motoring.